Hello everybody, welcome to beautiful Pepperell, Massachusetts. I just had to stop here and look at this ginormous birthday cake behind me, celebrating 250 years of Pepperell. Pepperell is a beautiful historic town on the New Hampshire border, but we are in Massachusetts. And there is a very wonderful, famous but not famous enough man, a hero of Bunker Hill. And we are on the road to Bunker Hill next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking a lot about it. And I had to bring you here so we could discuss amazing man, learn more about his life and kind of follow in his footsteps. Joseph Warren, Israel Putnam, John Stark, James Fry, Thomas Knowlton, our Andrew McClary, Artemus Ward, and William Prescott. Thomas Gage, William Howe, Henry Clinton, Robert Pigott, nice name, John Pitcairn, Samuel Graves on the other side. These are some of the names synonymous with the Battle of Bunker Hill. But today, we are here to talk about the one who has the only statue, memorial monument to grace the outside of the Bunker Hill Monument. That is Colonel William Prescott from right here in Pepperell, Massachusetts. And they are also celebrating 250 years of Pepperell, and this is the most adorable thing. On the road to Bunker Hill, we're going to be discussing various people in the next coming weeks and giving more background on the battle itself. This is a pivotal moment in our history and shaped the way the revolution would go, shaped the men involved in it, shook the nation. A lot of loss on both sides involved in it. Speaking of loss, here's a memorial. More modern. And the anniversary of the formation of the United States Army coming up very quickly upon us. And that's our heritage. Where would we be without these brave men and women? It's an incredible legacy we have here in this country. We're going to be talking about that in conjunction with the Battle of Bunker Hill. You can see this is the Global War on Terrorism Monument, dedicated to brave servicemen and women of the United States Armed Forces who served in post-1911 anti-terrorism operations. This monument honors the sacrifices made by those brave men and women and their loved ones and those who made the ultimate sacrifice. A big huzzah to them. From 1775 to modern day, we really are blessed to have the best of the best on our side, and if you are a member of the military, we love you, we appreciate you, thank you so much. Thank you doesn't seem like enough sometimes. We are going to follow the William Prescott story. It's an amazing one, full of intrigue, adventure, bravery, and some funny stuff too, so let's get going. Prescott name, huge around here. They settled this area. William Prescott was born in nearby Groton, Massachusetts, and his family spread far and wide roots around this area. He was the only child of William Prescott Sr. He would go on to have William Prescott Jr., who would go on to have another William Prescott, who became a very famed historian, interestingly specializing in Spanish history and ancient Spain, but really notable in his time in the 19th century. And the heritage is definitely there. So thank God William Prescott did survive Bunker Hill, but boy was it ever a time he had, and we're going to talk about that. We have arrived at the Walton Cemetery in Pepperell, Massachusetts, just down the road from the town square where we were, and we are going to go pay our respects to Colonel William Prescott. Come in the main archway here. He is just down here. There's no road closely, so you have to walk through the grass. Now, William Prescott was born in 1726, and by 1746 he was already fighting in Indian wars himself. King George's War was waging on in the area, and this area was kind of like the Wild West, very frontier-like for the time. This is an hour from Boston, so it was much more of a no man's land, well, rich in farmland, and it still is. The drive over here was quite lovely and full of beautiful farms and flower stands and things like that, and you can see it's a really, really nice area. When the French and Indian War broke out, William again answered the call and served with honor, of course, for the British side, which is what we were at the time. If you wanted to be on the winning side, like George Washington in the French and Indian War, you would have fought as a British subject. Fighting broke out at Lexington and Concord. He again was there as colonel of the Pepperell Minutemen. When word came of plans for the British to take Bunker and Breed's Hill around Charlestown, William Prescott was sent by Artemas Ward to take 1,200 men to build earthworks, redoubts, and fortifications on Bunker Hill, which was, of course, the tallest hill in Boston. And speaking of tall, William Prescott was a tall, healthy 49-year-old when he went to fight at Bunker Hill. And he was pretty unstoppable. And this is the final resting place, of course, of Colonel William Prescott, our hero of the day, and somebody really important to this story of the Revolution, particularly in the early days and the Siege of Boston. So he, along with Colonel Richard Gridley and others, worked like crazy on fortifications. And, you know, the Battle of Bunker Hill, the British really wanted to Obi-Wan Kenobi and take the high ground. And, you know, that was the area around Boston right there. Again, Bunker Hill, the tallest hill in Boston at the time. And with the Charles River below and the city beyond, it was really important for both sides. So we tried to stave them off, and they tried to take the land. So we began building all those fortifications and redoubts. And again, William Prescott was a huge part of that. It's said that the British actually decided to attack a day early on June 17th instead of the 18th. And the reason is pretty hilarious. Let's take a look here and take a minute to just think about the reality of this. And we're almost on the 250th anniversary of this, which I can't believe. I've been so looking forward to it. And I think that the reenactment in Gloucester is going to be epic, and the events leading up to it are going to be epic. And these men were very real and gave so much, and his story is incredible. After Bunker Hill, he goes on to help with the defense of New York, and he went to clear things up after the aftermath of Saratoga, finally returned here to Massachusetts, and he again answered the call in 1786 when Shays' Rebellion broke out in Massachusetts. But he did pass away here in Pepperell at the age of 69, our precious hero. And yeah, so his son Junior went on to become a senator for this great state of Massachusetts, and his son, William Hickling Prescott, was a brilliant and famed historian. It's funny that they each, well, this William Prescott was an only son. I think he had a sister. Yeah. But then he goes on to have only one child, and then he has a child, also William Prescott. And you just think of the bravery he endured, and if he hadn't endured, you know, when the heck would have happened? We had all these amazing people at the right place at the right time, and together we get the great American story. Remember I told you that they were fixtures in this community, and that the Prescotts are a huge part of Pepperell. Well, here is another person, another family here that was also very big in the community and beloved. And that is the grave of Reverend Joseph Emerson Jr. And he was the son of Joseph and Mary Emerson, graduate of Harvard in 1743, first minister of Groton West Parish. The name Pepperell was his suggestion. And the Daughters of the American Revolution have additionally placed a Patriot plaque here for him, right next to of William Prescott. He's forever here entombed next to his wife Abigail. And you can see it says, "This stone is erected in memory of Colonel William Prescott of Pepperell, who died on the 3rd day of October in the 17th year of his age." Old English, kind of funny and often found on these old graves, but he was in fact 69 when he passed away. I'll move on now and go see if we can sneak a little peeky at his house. I believe it's a private residence, but we'll see what we can see. As it's overcast, it looks cool to you. Do not be fooled. It is extremely hot and humid. It's like 1000% humidity. Cool cemetery. And the Daughters of the American Revolution have a chapter that run right out of that brick building right there, which is pretty cool. It's a great organization. Why do I credit William Prescott with having the date of the battle moved up? That is an amazing story. Mr. Gagey, our lovely friend Thomas Gage, was down in Boston, you know, watching things take place above at Bunker Hill. He could see activity. So he asked his aide, Abijah Willard, to take the spyglass and look and see if he could see anything, or activity, or any specific people working on the fortifications. He wanted to know what he could see. So from his window, I believe it was over on Beacon Hill, this is really pretty, he takes out the spyglass and he says, "Oh, I can see that it is William Prescott. He is over there, he's building fortifications." Basically, ruh-roh. So General Gage says, "Well, do you think he's really gonna fight? You know, he's 49 years old and has a lot of commitments. Is he gonna really do this?" Abijah turns to him and says, "Yes, he's an old soldier, but he will fight as long as there is even one drop of blood remaining in his veins." And how did Abijah know for sure that it was William Prescott up there? Well, William Prescott also just so happened to be his brother-in-law. He knew him, he knew of him, he knew his character, he definitely knew what he looked like. Talk about a moment that's awkward. So Gage took that very seriously, moved the date up, and instead of the 18th said, "We attack on the 17th. So the ships came in, fires were going as they burned Charlestown, and the battle broke out. Prescott actually noted in his report to John Adams later, because after the battle he ends up going back to the Harvard Yard area reporting, and John Adams, as the delegate, wanted information that he could take back to the Continental Congress, good intel and firsthand, and he said, quote, "heavy cannonading and bombardment" is what he told John Adams. So it was severe. It's reported that, you know, even the British officers that day were freaked out. They had blood all over their coats. This was a gruesome, gory, no joke, hand-to-hand combat type of battle. Well, they tried, and after 2 hours of fighting, huge loss of British life, sorrow on both sides. You know, those fires are burning. We run out of ammunition, essentially. And the battle cleared. We had to retreat. William Prescott lived to see another day that day. He was shot and bayoneted. And after the Battle of Bunker Hill, William Prescott's coat looked like it had been shredded by Edward Scissorhands. He had been bayoneted and shot at multiple times and did not die. The man was a walking miracle, a miracle as America itself, and an amazing symbol of what we can do when Providence is on your side and things are just meant to be. Sadly, we did lose good men. Andrew McCleary, Joseph Warren. James Fry died a week later from injuries incurred at the battle, and many other, regular enlisted men. And on the British side, a huge loss of life. And technically, of course, we did not win the Battle of Bunker Hill, but we slowed them down. We showed them that we were not just a little ragtag army. We had a long way to go. And General Washington, Artemus Ward, people in the future like Nathaniel Greene, Henry Knox, we had a lot to go, but this battle proved that we were no joke. The thing I want to point out while we're still here and talking about this is, you know, and I think I've even quoted it a few times, the saying, don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes. It's really funny. It's accredited to both Israel Putnam and William Prescott. Now, of course, they both could have said it, but that isn't likely. Really, only one of them said it, if any of them at all. It was a quote that had gone around, that had been used by others in the past as well. We don't really know who said it, and depending on what historian you look to, what website you go on, what plaque you read, I think didn't even the State House in Connecticut say that Israel Putnam said it? So it goes very back and forth. I think on the scales tipping, it might tip a little bit more towards our lovely William Prescott as something he said, but it is also credited to Putnam. It's the mystery of history. By the way, if you guys notice that I sound a little bit congested, I continue to battle the sinus infection from AG double hockey sticks. I have a doctor's appointment on Monday, but yeah, it's been a doozy. There hasn't been a video since Memorial Day on the beach and touring the New Hampshire seacoast. If you guys didn't check that one out, it was a fun one, a little bit different. But yeah, I've been resting. I even, you know, stayed home and did nothing a couple days, which is very unheard of for me. But I just really needed to rest, and it's a bacterial sinus infection. I used to get them quite a bit. I haven't for years, but allergies this year were really, really bad. And I know exactly what happened. The allergies went into an infection, and it's probably not going to go away until I finally take antibiotics, which I absolutely hate doing, and I've been trying to avoid. But I do have an appointment on Monday, so if I'm still feeling this crappy, I'm probably gonna have to just succumb to that and do something about it, because this is not good. I'm definitely doing better than I was, but yeah. You can see here how beautiful Pepperell is, and this is not an area that I frequent. And it's funny because it's right on the New Hampshire border. This was exactly an hour from our house, though. It's a little more west, away from the seacoast. It's closer to, well, it's on the border of Hollis, New Hampshire, and closer to Nashua, which is great because Nashua is an area that is full of stores, everything you could ever want shopping-wise or need, and Costco. So I have errands to run after this, and I thought, you know what, I really wanted to do this video for a while and fill you in and start to really hone in on the specific stories surrounding the Battle of Bunker/Breeds Hill. Oh, by the way, Bunker/Breeds Hill. So most of the battle actually took place on Breeds Hill. The fortifications that William Prescott was building were on Bunker Hill. But the original areas that were Breeds Hill is now taken up by homes and businesses in the lovely Charlestown neighborhood. So that hill is gone. Like a lot of Boston, it's been backfilled and changed drastically from a landmass perspective. So you can't really see the hill anymore, but at least we have Bunker Hill and the lovely monument, which we are coming up on the anniversary of the dedication of the monument, and I have a couple events to pick from as far as what to go through. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be awesome. And 250 years, oh my goodness, how exciting. And definitely we will be at the reenactment in Gloucester, because that is going to be amazing. And they are talking thousands and thousands of reenactors, and we will bring you guys along for all of that excitement too. So that is going to be really, really good. And as we get closer to William Prescott's house, I'm really wondering what this is going to be like. I've never actually tried to do this, so we shall see. Somebody said it was ran by the Daughters of the American Revolution. I don't think that's accurate. I believe it's a private residence. But I'm not above being a little bit nosy as long as it doesn't bother anybody. I mean, there was the time that Noah and I got ran out of Melrose for looking at the Beetlejuice filming site, and that guy was threatening us and cussing us out, said we looked suspicious, which is very, very funny. The idea of me and Noah looking suspicious is hilarious, as a matter of fact, but hopefully nothing like that happens today. I don't anticipate that it will. But boy, this is very much like in the woods, and how cute are some of these places. So I'm excited, and I will see you in a second when we get there. I'm gonna have to make this really quick. Yep, so it's a private residence. Apparently that is the original home of William Prescott, and I definitely don't want to linger because this is the kind of place that seems a little bit deliverance. So let's move on and we'll catch up with you in a second. I can't even believe that that's the house. I mean, I've seen old sketches and that is what it looks like. I think it's just fallen into great disrepair and it's been added on a lot too. No offense if that's your house. My gosh, is his house. That's a place. Yes, it definitely is because this is, look at. We are on Prescott Street, so wow. Ethan's bewildered. He's like, that place, I don't understand. Yeah, I know. Some of these, you should see Israel. You remember Israel Putnam's house? And next to the Candy Cottage in Danvers? I mean, that's in quite a state too. And has changed hands back and forth. Yeah, and it's actually really hard to find a lot of information about William Prescott. He didn't write a whole lot. We do have those letters to John Adams. William Prescott was not, his mind didn't lead towards academia. He was a self-made man and brilliant in his own way and kind and tall and handsome and wonderful, and everybody loved him and his men loved him and the founding fathers loved him. But writing, I just don't think was his forte. It wasn't something he did a lot. Thankfully, a lot of other people did write. We do have his letters to John Adams, but not a whole ton of information. There are a couple books out there about him, which are great. And, you know, firsthand evidence based on the battle and his timeline. And, oh, Saratoga. I want to talk to you guys about Saratoga. So he didn't actually fight in the Battle of Saratoga. He really did. I think I touched on this, but he came up kind of towards the end. I think he did see Burgoyne's surrender, but it's kind of funny because John Trumbull put him in the painting. He did not put him in the Death of Dr. Warren Bunker Hill painting, and it said that he felt bad about it, so he made sure to include him in Saratoga. Even though Saratoga, like, he wasn't as big of a part of it as he was at Bunker Hill, John Trumbull just realized, like, oh, I screwed up. This guy is important, amazing, awesome, and deserves to be in a painting, so he is featured prominently. I will insert a picture now. And there he is. So yes, sometimes you can right a wrong, and that was John Trumbull's way of doing that. And if my windshield looks dirty, you guys, I'm sorry. Every time I think about getting a car wash, there's rain in the forecast, and our weather has been absolutely insane. We've had nor'easters. Yesterday, would you believe it was 90 and sunny and not that humid? And today it is a humid bomb of disgustingness. So ever changing. Wanted to just include this in our road to Bunker Hill. And we have other plans this weekend. Lots of fun videos ahead and other things. Today is Friday, so it was again just one of those. I had a bunch of stuff I needed to do, but thought I would include you guys and really wanted to make this video for a long time. So I was really excited to get to Pepperell. Made it happen, and I hope that this all makes sense. If you guys have any questions about William Prescott or the Battle of Bunker Hill, comment. I will do what I can because it is something, thankfully, I do know quite a bit about and really enjoy. Look at this adorable bridge. I did stop off at the bridge because I want to tell you another amazing tale that also connects with William Prescott. It is the Prudence Right Scenic Overlook and Bridge. And Prudence Right, long story short, after Lexington and Concord, the shot heard around the world, her husband David Wright, like most of the men from Cambridge, served with Colonel Prescott, known for commanding the American forces at Bunker Hill. After hearing a rumor that British messengers were expecting to cross the town that night, the 35-year-old Captain Wright gathered 30 militia women at the bridge to await their approach. Although the bridge at the time was not sheltered by cover, the connecting road curved around high land on the north side, made the bridge difficult to see for the two horsemen nearing from that direction, and they did not see the militia women until the bridge was almost reached. The British Captain Leonard Winning confidently rode in the midst before realizing the nature of the force he would soon face. The women surrounded him, seized his horse, and at the command of Captain Wright, compelled him to dismount and submit a search. He was carrying dispatches from Canada to Boston. Treasonable papers against the American cause were found in his boots. And so this lady, definitely badass. And we're gonna go take a look at the actual bridge where this went down. And we are still in Pepperell, beautiful Pepperell. I am melting from that humidity we talked about. Here you go. Here's another monument to her near the spot. A party of patriotic women under the leadership of Mrs. David Wright of Pepperell in April 1775 captured Leonard Whiting, a Tory who was carrying treasonable dispatches to the enemy at Boston. He was taken a prisoner to Groton, and the dispatches were sent to the Committee of Safety at Cambridge. That was a very, very bad day for him. And as you can see, this is the Prudence Right overlook on the Nashua River. I do so love a covered bridge, especially one with such an amazing historical connection. At the Nashua River, it is so hot and humid right now that I would like to take a swim. How cute is this? I think I will leave you here for now. At History Chicken, like Patrick Henry, I know of no way of judging the future by the past. If you guys enjoyed looking at the life of William Prescott, more on him to come, I'm sure, because we will be at Bunker Hill, and all these things are going to connect and make sense very soon. I hope that they're starting to connect already from my old Andrew McCleary video to all of this. It is one big, amazing American story that deserves to be told. As I say, history is alive. It's real. It's waiting to be explored, and it's right here in Pepperell, Massachusetts, and beyond. And I'm sure there is history wherever you guys are across this beautiful country as well. So get out there, explore it, enjoy it. We will see you soon. Hey guys, remember, I am also on Instagram at _historychick, on Facebook at @historychick, and right here with more content to come. Take care, you guys. See you soon. Bye. So humid.